In a small village, surrounded by lush fields and legends that echoed in the voices of the elders, Arjun walked under the warm sun. Days dragged on, and he dreamed of becoming a great warrior, but felt trapped in a simple life as a farmer. He gazed at the horizon, where the majestic mountains rose, as if waiting for a hero to emerge from among them. One day, I will be someone, he thought, as his calloused hands worked the land. Arjun, come help with the rice bundles, shouted his mother, interrupting his daydreams. Her voice, soft yet firm, brought him back to reality. He smiled, knowing that his family's love was what truly mattered. Yes, Mom, I'm coming, he replied, making his way to the house, where the aroma of homemade curry filled the air. That night, as the villagers gathered around the campfire, Arjun listened to stories about the Divine Trinity, Brahma, Vishnu, and Shiva. They say they walk among us, watching over and protecting the world, said an elder, his eyes shining with wisdom. And each of us has a destiny, a role to play. Arjun listened intently, feeling a spark of hope ignite in his heart. What if I could be one of those warriors? He pondered, unaware that his destiny was about to change. Later that night, as the stars shone brightly, a blinding light streaked across the sky. Arjun stepped outside, his heart racing. What is that? He murmured, watching the light dance in the heavens. Suddenly, a majestic figure appeared before him. Vishnu, with his blue skin and a gaze that conveyed both power and compassion. Arjun, son of the earth, you are the chosen one, declared Vishnu, his voice resonating deep within the young man's soul. The balance of the cosmos is threatened by an ancient shadow, and only you can restore it. Arjun felt a mix of fear and excitement. But I'm just a farmer. How can I face such power? He questioned, his voice trembling. Vishnu smiled. True strength lies within you. Accept your mission, and you will discover the greatness that already exists in your heart. Hesitant but determined, Arjun took a deep breath and, with a steadier voice, replied, I accept. Thus began his journey, not knowing that the truth about his lineage and the trials that awaited him would lead to a destiny far greater than he could ever imagine. As the sun rose over the horizon, Arjun found himself in a vast training field under the guidance of Shiva. The god of destruction, with his blue skin and wild hair, danced around him, as if each movement was a manifestation of creation and destruction itself. Arjun, dressed in a simple tunic, watched in admiration and a bit of fear. The cosmic dance that Shiva executed was mesmerizing, a continuous flow of energy pulsing in the air. Focus, Arjun, Shiva said, his voice echoing like soft thunder. Life is made of cycles. To create, you must also know how to destroy. Only then will you understand your role as an avatar. Arjun took a deep breath, trying to absorb Shiva's words. He moved his arms, mimicking the god's gestures, but his mind was filled with doubts. I'm just a farmer, Shiva. How can I be the chosen one to maintain the balance of the universe? You are not just a farmer, Shiva replied, his penetrating gaze fixed on Arjun. You are the sum of all your experiences. The strength of the farmer who plants and harvests is the same as that of the warrior who fights. Remember that. As he trained, Arjun began to feel an increasing connection to the dance, each step becoming more natural. He now understood that destruction was not an act of violence, but a necessary part of life. After hours of training, Arjun sat beneath the shade of an ancient tree, breathless but determined. It was then that Vishnu appeared, his serene presence illuminating the surroundings. Arjun, what have you discovered about yourself? I learned that destruction is as essential as creation, Arjun replied, still lost in thought. But I feel that time is running out. Ravana is gathering an army. Vishnu nodded, concern etched on his face. Yes, he is preparing for an attack. You must be ready for what is to come. Determined to act, Arjun set out on a mission, resolved to investigate Ravana's threat. With each step, he felt the strength of the gods flowing through him, like an electric current. It was time to join the warriors who would fight by his side. Upon arriving at the camp, Arjun found a group of fighters, each braver than the last. "We need to be quick," he said, his voice resolute. "Ravana is gathering his forces, and we must stop them before it's too late." One of the warriors, a tall man with long hair, raised his sword. "We are ready, Arjun. Together, we will be stronger than ever." Arjun smiled, feeling a wave of hope. The unity of those warriors was a sign that light would still prevail over darkness. The fate of the world was in their hands, and he was determined not to fail. Arjun walked through the shadows of the forest, the weight of victory still on his shoulders, but worry consumed him. The words of the prophecy echoed in his mind like a persistent whisper. "A traitor is among you." He looked at his battle companions, each exhausted yet resolute. The heat of the day had faded, and the gentle breeze brought with it the scent of damp earth. "We need to be cautious," he said, turning to Sita, who walked beside him. "We can't fully trust anyone. The prophecy, it doesn't lie." Sita stopped and crossed her arms, her expression a mix of concern and determination. "Arjun, we can't let distrust divide us. We need unity to face Ravana. If we keep suspecting each other, we will be lost." "I know," Arjun replied, looking down at the ground covered in leaves. "But what if that distrust is the cause of our ruin? Sita, you know the warriors better than I do. Don't you feel that something is wrong?" Sita hesitated, her gaze fixed on a group of warriors in the distance. Maybe I do sense something, but we must act wisely. If we chase after this distrust, we could end up pitting ourselves against one another." Tension hung in the air, and Arjun knew that the truth about the betrayal could be more complex than he imagined. He decided to investigate Sita more deeply. "I will talk to the others. We need to find out if there are any signs of betrayal among us." As Arjun walked away, Sita felt a tightness in her heart. He was right to be cautious, but her connection to the ancient darkness was a burden she carried. "Arjun," she called, making him stop and look back over his shoulder. "Promise me that if you discover anything, you won't let fear consume you. Darkness can take unexpected forms." Arjun nodded, but the weight of doubt lingered. "I promise, but I can't ignore what I feel. I need to protect all of us." With that, Arjun moved away, determined to uncover the secrets that might be hidden beneath the surface. He felt torn between the trust he had in his friends and the need to uncover the truth. As he walked, his mind spun around the image of Sita, her strength, her beauty, and the mystery surrounding her. He knew that somehow she was linked to the prophecy, and that made him hesitate. That night, as the camp prepared to rest, Arjun sat in a distant corner, observing every movement. He saw Sita talking to another warrior, and his heart raced. The words exchanged were hard to hear, but he could feel the tension in the air. Distrust began to consume his thoughts, and he decided he needed to confront her. "You have to tell me the truth, Sita," Arjun said, approaching her later when they were alone. "There's something about you that I can't understand." I'm not who you think I am, Arjun," Sita replied, her voice trembling. "My past is more complicated than you can imagine." "Then tell me, what is going on?" The urgency in his voice was palpable, and Sita knew she could no longer hide her true nature. The icy breeze of the dark lands enveloped Arjun and Sita as they walked side by side, the tension palpable in the air. Shadows danced around them, covering the ground with a dark mantle that seemed to absorb the light. The path ahead was filled with obstacles, but determination burned in Arjun's eyes. "We need to stay united," Sita said, her voice firm, yet a treacherous tremor betrayed her nervousness. "Ravana won't hesitate to exploit our weaknesses." Arjun nodded, remembering each battle they had faced so far. Despite the difficulties, he felt their bond growing stronger with every challenge overcome. "Together, we are stronger. We can't let doubt tear us apart," he affirmed, his fist clenching resolutely. Sita smiled, though the shadow of an unknown past still loomed over her. As they walked, her gaze drifted into memories. "There's something I need to tell you," she began hesitantly. "My lineage, it's not just of a goddess. I am connected to Brahma, and that means you are too in some way." Arjun stopped, surprised. The revelation echoed in his mind as he processed her words. What do you mean? How is that possible? He questioned, confusion written across his face. The power of Brahma flows in your veins. What you become is not just a result of what you've learned, but also of what is already within you, Sita explained, her eyes shining with a mysterious intensity. You have the potential to achieve great things, Arjun. It's time to discover that. The revelation resonated within Arjun, like an echo of a long-forgotten destiny. He felt a growing force inside him, an energy that pulsed and beckoned him forward. Then we need to figure out how to unleash this power. Together, we can confront Ravana and everything he represents, he said, confidence now taking hold of his voice. Sita nodded, and the two pressed on, determined to unravel the mysteries of their origins. Each step brought them closer to an encounter that would define not only their lives, but the fate of creation itself. As darkness loomed closer, Arjun felt that time was running out. He needed to understand the extent of his power and how it could be the key to defeating Ravana. Come on, Sita. The future of our world depends on us. He extended his hand to her, and as their hands touched, a wave of energy surged through their bodies, binding them in a common purpose. The journey through the lands of shadows would not be easy, but together, Arjun and Sita were ready to face any challenge that lay ahead. Arjun felt the power of Brahma pulsing through his veins, a vibrant energy filling him with determination. He and Sita found themselves in an open field, beneath a sky laden with dark clouds. We need to be strategic, Sita said, her intense gaze reflecting the gravity of the moment. Ravana is stronger than ever. He's not just fighting for power, but for a purpose that, somehow, we still don't understand. You're right, Arjun replied, adjusting the sword that shone with a golden light. Let's gather our warriors and strike at dawn. We can't give him a chance to strengthen himself further. With the decision made, they summoned the warriors who had joined them. Each carried the pain of loss and the weight of responsibility. The battlefield soon filled with voices, each expressing their hopes and fears. Arjun stood tall, raising his hand to silence the clamor. Today we fight not just for ourselves, but for everyone who has suffered under Ravana's shadow. Together, we are stronger. The renewed determination had the warriors raising their weapons, ready for the final battle. As the sun began to rise, painting the sky in shades of orange and red, they advanced with unwavering courage, prepared to confront the darkness. In the heart of the battlefield, the fight intensified. The sounds of clashing swords and cries of pain echoed through the heavy air. Arjun fought with skill, his connection to Brahma granting him supernatural agility. But with every blow struck, painful losses became inevitable. We cannot give up, he shouted, his voice ringing out over the chaos. Fight for those who couldn't come. During the struggle, Arjun realized that Ravana, in his demonic form, was not merely a monster, but a complex force filled with nuances. He saw the pain and rage in the demon's eyes, and his determination began to waver. Ravana, Arjun called, taking a moment to face his adversary. You don't have to be alone in this battle. What happened to you? You can be more than this. Ravana's response was a deep roar, but for a brief moment, Arjun glimpsed a fraction of the being he once was. A shadow of doubt crossed the demon's face, but it was quickly replaced by fury. You know nothing of what you speak. Young warrior, I am what I was created to be. Arjun felt a wave of compassion for Ravana, understanding that the true battle wasn't against the demon itself, but against the corruption that had consumed his essence. Let's discover the truth together, he shouted, determined not to give up, not just for himself, but for everyone who believed in a better future. The twilight sky was painted in shades of orange and purple as Arjun leaned over Ravana's body, now enveloped in an aura of pain and confusion. With his newly discovered power pulsing within him, he felt the urge to act. Ravana, you don't have to be this, Arjun said, his voice firm yet compassionate. You can return to who you truly are, a guardian. Darkness is not your destiny. Arjun's words resonated in the energy-laden air. He extended his hands, channeling the light of Brahma, Vishnu, and Shiva, blending it with his own essence. Free yourself from corruption. Find the truth in your heart. The energy flowed like a luminous river, enveloping Ravana in a warm, healing embrace. The demon's eyes opened, and a look of confusion began to dissipate. What's happening? Ravana asked, his voice now softer, almost a whisper. I know, Arjun murmured as the light pulsed more intensely. Let's restore the harmony that was lost. With one last effort, he unleashed an explosion of light that enveloped Ravana completely. The demon screamed, but not in pain. It was a scream of liberation. As the light dissipated, Ravana transformed. His features softened, and his once dark wings now shimmered with a golden glow. Am I free? He asked, disbelief tinged in his voice. Yes, you are, Arjun replied, smiling. Now, together, we can protect the world. With the battle won, Arjun and Sita were welcomed as heroes. The people cheered and shouted their names, but the young warrior felt a weight in his heart. He knew something was still unclear. Brahma, Vishnu, and Shiva appeared before them, enveloped in divine light. Arjun, Vishnu said, his voice resonant. We believe it is time to reveal the truth. You're not just a chosen one. You are the manifestation of the Trinity itself, destined to guide humanity. Arjun's eyes widened in shock. I am a part of you? Yes, Brahma confirmed. You carry within you the essence of creation, preservation, and destruction. Now, as the new avatar, your responsibility is to teach the balance between these forces. Arjun took a deep breath, feeling the weight of his destiny. I accept, he affirmed, his voice steady. I will do whatever it takes to maintain the harmony of the universe. With the shadow of Ravana now by his side as an ally, Arjun looked toward the horizon. The cycle was beginning anew, and he was ready to face new challenges. Now immortal, his journey was just beginning.